Next question. This is your 51 question. A 19-year-old patient is coming with a meibomian cyst. Meibomian gland, you know, na? Meibomian cyst is there. We have lid notching, foamy tear surface. The patient is complaining of rittiness here, redness of the lid margins here. But there is no trichiasis, no phyllectinules. Phyllectinules means the nodules are not there. Past medical history is also significant for acne rosacea, but it's well controlled with the medications. The patient has been experiencing such episodes since few years. What is the initial impression? Anterior blepharitis, posterior blepharitis, seborrheic blepharitis, and demodex infestation. Now see, there is a very important catch point given in the first line itself. They are talking about the meibomian gland, and meibomian gland is actually leading to the posterior blepharitis. So this is actually the posterior blepharitis where we have inflammation of the meibomian glands itself, right? So then we also have the foamy tear surface. Foamy secretions means again this one, your sebaceous secretions. And meibomian gland is a sebaceous gland. It is a sebaceous gland. So very conveniently, I can say that this is a kind of a posterior blepharitis. I will be telling you the references also. If I talk about the seborrheic blepharitis, then the name itself says that this will contain the dandruff-like material. Seborrheic blepharitis will contain the dandruff-like material. So that is also not there. Demodex, this also contains the dandruff-like material we have. So both of them obviously could not be there because no history of seborrhea is given. We have got the acne rosacea. Okay. Now, first of all, I will tell you about the posterior blepharitis. So basically, posterior blepharitis is the name given to the meibomitis itself. Meibomitis means we have the inflammation of meibomian gland. What is the other name of this meibomian gland? It is also called as the tarsal gland or the tarsal cyst is there. So whenever we have the inflammation, this is actually a sebaceous gland, and sebaceous gland will have the lipid secretion. So obviously that is why we will have the lipid and the foamy secretions will be there. Lipid secretions or the foamy secretions will be there. And a very, very important thing is that the presentation mostly is the chronic one. And a very important thing is also there that the pathogenesis mainly depends upon the bacterial lipases. The bacteria is releasing the bacterial lipases. This lipases is actually acting on the lipids which is present in the secretions, and therefore it is causing the foamy secretions. Another important thing is that the symptoms are worse in the morning. The other presentation could also be acute, but then it will be serosanguis could be there. Then a very, very important thing which is also given in the question, that this meibomitis is very, very common in patients of the acne rosacea, seborrheic dermatitis. So acne rosacea, they have already given foamy secretions. They have given you the involvement of meibomian gland. So first and the last impression remains your posterior blepharitis only. Now, another important thing where you can compare the anterior blepharitis and posterior blepharitis. Anterior blepharitis is actually most commonly caused by the Staph aureus. So that is given in the question itself also. Okay. So in cases of the anterior blepharitis, it is actually the eyelids which are involved, while in cases of the posterior blepharitis, it is actually the meibomian gland that is involved. So now in anterior blepharitis, when the lid margins are involved, there will be a telangiectasia in the lids. There will be scaling, there will be, collarettes. We can have the different consequences of lid margins. So we can have madarosis. What is madarosis? It is the fall of the lashes, or the absence of the lashes could be there. Then we can have trichiasis. Trichiasis will be the rubbing of the eyelashes. It could be the rubbing of eyelashes on the cornea, that could be there. We can have the lid notching also, these kind of things. While when you talk about the posterior lid margin, where you have the meibomian gland, then we will have the posterior lid telangiectasia. So anterior lid telangiectasia will be anterior blepharitis, posterior lid telangiectasia will be posterior blepharitis, that is there. Then there was also a seborrheic blepharitis. So whenever you will have the seborrheic one, always remember that they will always give you that hyperemic and greasy anterior lid margins, mapping of the eyelashes, and we will have dandruff-like material. These flakes will be there. And sometimes you also get a history of dandruff in the hair. So that is very, very typical. So I think that seborrhea is not given. They have not given you any crusting towards the anterior side. They have not given you any metarosis, trichiasis, and lid notching. So all that rules out also. It's not a case of anterior blepharitis. It's not a case of seborrhea. So that also tells you that it's a case of posterior blepharitis, right?